Hare Okay, I'm going to try this. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vrajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodana. No, how does it go? No, sorry. Wait, 1 second. What's the actual tune? The third one? No. Jaya Yasho. Okay. Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Not too bad, I hope. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swamiti Namani Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayani Gaurakha Damadaya Ladavramatayani Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurapani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Deshitarini Chakalpatarobhyascha kripa sindhubhye eva chapatitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the temple today. Sorry about the mishap. I need to practice more in order to sing better. I think the third line, the third verse, the tune is a little bit off. So anyway, we are going to discuss about Vaishnava etiquette today. It's a very, very important topic, as all of us might know. And I will start in the mood of Srila Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami, when he was asked by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Leela, when Sanatan Goswami was asked to write the Vaishnava Smriti, I think, to describe the qualities and the behavior of a Vaishnava, he took a very humble stance, and he said that he is the most low-born person and he is not capable of putting out such an important literature to talk about the importance or the code of conduct, the etiquette of a Vaishnava. So I am approaching this subject with the same mood, but of course Sanatan Goswami, he is more than qualified. He's the most qualified, he's more than qualified to tell us how a Vaishnava should behave. But nevertheless, in my, according to my qualifications, I am just speaking the truth that, I'm not at all qualified to do this topic, but we have an obligation, we have an obligation to share the knowledge that we receive from our seniors, from our spiritual masters with everyone. So whatever I'm trying to do here today is, I'm not practicing it, I am trying to practice it, and this is what is recommended for all of us, especially all these young people here. So nice to see such a young temple, right? When Prabhupada started ISKCON in who can tell? 66, yeah. When Prabhupada established ISKCON in 1966, most of the temple presidents, maybe there were like 3 temples or something, right? So most of the temple presidents were all how old? How old? Any guesses? 25. Yeah, I think maybe the oldest one was 25, maybe, So they were all like, 19, 20, 21. So there's a lot of things that young people can do. Actually, young people can do much more than older people, because you have so much energy and you're also a clean slate, so you don't have any preconceived notions. So if someone tells you do this, you would do it. But an older, experienced person will say that, I think, maybe we shouldn't do it because this can happen, right? But younger people, they are risk takers. They will go for it and they will do it. So all of you are in such a great age to, propagate Krishna consciousness, to practice Krishna consciousness. So, okay, that's not the topic today, but it's connected, because everything is connected to etiquette. So I want this class to be a little bit interactive, just that, so that I don't feel too out of place, like I'm talking to myself like a monologue, So I want it to be a little bit interactive, not too much. I know, not everybody comes to a class hoping to answer like pop quizzes or something. So importance of etiquette. We want to learn today about the importance of etiquette. We want to know what is etiquette. So I know most of us in this room today, we all know what is etiquette. We have an idea of what etiquette is. So can I see, can some of us tell me, what is etiquette? When I say Vaishnava etiquette especially, what comes to your mind? Anyone? Yes, Surit? Not committing Vaishnava aparat, so important. I forget your name. Oh, Gauranga. Wow, such a nice name. Gauranga. Proper way to interact with Vaishnavas. Yeah, very true. Not basically the same thing, right? I mean, not to commit Vaishnava aparat and and a proper ways to interact with Vaishnavas. So half right, half right, because Vaishnava etiquette is actually not just proper way to interact with Vaishnavas, but it's a proper way to interact with everyone. Not just humans even like animals, any living entities or non-living entities. We don't kick books around. I've seen some people, they kick, they don't mind putting their feet on the books. But do we do that? We shouldn't do that because books are equivalent to Saraswati, they say, right? So whenever we accidentally kick the book or put our feet on the book, we always, try to put, the hands on the book and on our head. I don't know what that means, but that's what we do because we are trying to show respect. So Vaishnava etiquette is very important for us to know what it is and what, Vaishnava. Who is a Vaishnava, first of all? Who is a Vaishnava? So there are many definitions to who a Vaishnava is. There are many classes, they might say, of Vaishnavas or anything. But fundamentally, who is a Vaishnava? A Vaishnava is someone who is a devotee of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnava. Devotee of Lord Vishnu, who is not different than Lord Krishna, then Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, then Gaur Nitai. So Vaishnavas are people who worship Lord Vishnu. And we all have a certain way, a code of conduct. If we are in schools, for instance, we all have a code of conduct in school. You're not supposed to wear certain things to school, I'm sure. These days they have more of these things that you're not supposed to wear t-shirts with certain writings and whatnot. And yeah, everywhere you go. Now you go to the hospitals, you have to put on a mask, for instance. And how you behave. When you go to an airport, there are certain words that you cannot say in the airport. Do you all know what words are those words? Yeah? You cannot go to an airport and say bomb. Yeah, even you have to be very careful. So yeah, these things, so everywhere we go, in this society, when we live in this society, there are code of conducts that we must follow. So similarly for Vaishnavas also. And in, let me look at my notes here. In Antya Leela, Sanatan Goswami, in Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatan Goswami says some people, some Vaishnavas, behave very well, but they don't preach. But some Vaishnavas preach, but they don't behave very well. So both these situations are not ideal. And why I'm quoting this especially is because we are a movement, a preaching movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came about 500 something years ago here in West Bengal. He took birth to propagate the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And that is the Yuga Dharma. We might do all the temple worship we want, we might do all the yagyas we want, we might do all the meditation we want, but there are a specific dharma for each yuga. And which yuga are we in right now? We are in Kali Yuga. Any doubt about that? Okay? Only Anasuya Mataji is laughing to my jokes. But anyway, so this is the Kali Yuga. And in Kali Yuga, the dharma is What's the Yuga Dharma? All of you should know because all of you are Kirtan enthusiasts, right? So the Yuga Dharma in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy names of the Lord. So it's very important that we preach in this Kali Yuga, that we go out and talk about Krishna consciousness. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna upadesh. Whoever you see, tell them, the instructions about Lord Krishna. And this is why it's so important, especially in today's day and age. Maybe 500 years ago, when they went out and they just preached and they told the science of Krishna consciousness to people, people took it up. But of course at that time they were also very well behaved and they used to preach. And it's so important that we follow Vaishnava etiquette, especially for a movement like ours, a preaching movement, because we want to be inspirational. These days, especially with, social media and whatnot, you see so many so-called inspirational content, right, on social media, motivation speakers, gladly there are some devotees who are also, in that group and they are putting out really good content. But, it's all about inspiring people these days. And you cannot behave in a bad way and expect to inspire people. People want to be inspired. It's not all about, I'm the authority here and you have to listen to whatever I have to say. No. So why we practice Vaishnava etiquette, code of conduct, so that because after this my point is to talk about the basics of Vaishnava etiquette. What are Vaishnava etiquettes? So before that, why I'm saying this is when we practice Vaishnava etiquette, when we know how to behave as a Vaishnava, we will inspire people because these practices are of that nature. They are very beautiful practices, which we will find out. I'm sure some of you know already what are these practices. But we will be able to inspire others. And when we inspire others, they will join us, they will come, and they will benefit. It's not that we want to create some, multi-million-dollar movement, organization, or anything like that. It's not a multi-level marketing or anything like that. We are doing this for the benefit of the people, right? So when they are inspired, they will be able to reap the benefits of this movement because it is very needed in this. It was always needed even when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj met Srila Prabhupada in 1922. Just imagine, 1922. I cannot even imagine what type of situation it was at that time. But even at that time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said to Prabhupada that this is emergency. This is an emergency. We cannot wait for anything. We have to preach the science of Krishna consciousness. So what more now? People are in need of this. So if we have compassion in our heart, we will try to inspire them. Not to instruct them, but to inspire them to take up to this and to benefit them. So let's look at some basics. Now, okay, we have heard about what are the importance of etiquette, Vaishnava etiquette, who is a Vaishnava, why, and now what are the basic Vaishnava etiquettes, that whenever you think Vaishnava etiquette, not to commit Vaishnava aparad, for instance, anything else, like more basic stuff, anyone can just say a few things and then we'll go more into detail to it. That's a very good point, not to commit any Vaishnava aparad. Anything else? What else is Vaishnava etiquette? What do you think is Vaishnava etiquette? Come on. Yeah, serve everyone as a master. Yeah? Never wear shoes. Yeah, so it's like never wear shoes in the temple to serving everyone as masters and not committing Vaishnava aparad. So it's like a huge spectrum, if you may say, That means from the most basic thing, like I've put some things here, it's a long list. So I encourage all of you, if you're interested, to hear more about what Vaishnava etiquette is, because it is a vast topic. Bhakti Charu Swami, Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, all of them, they have given seminars, like 1 week long seminars on Vaishnava etiquette. So it's impossible for us to kind of like put it all in a 1 hour class. And plus, Vaishnava etiquette is something that we learn as we go and we try to practice, so it's a lifelong learning kind of a thing. But today we can try to put it in a nutshell and just for basic understanding. Some of the things are like cleanliness, of course, is very, very emphasized in Vaishnava etiquette. A Vaishnava is very, very clean. It's supposed to be very, very clean. How many times a day it's recommended for us to shower, for instance, to take a bath? 3 times a day. It's not possible sometimes, right?
When in the office, it's impossible.
Yeah, and every time you go to the, bathroom, for instance, when you do things, you have to take a bath. It's important. Like actually, if you start practicing these things over time, you cannot live without doing it. It will become like disgusting if you don't. And then tilak, Vaishnava tilak. It's so important to put on Vaishnava tilak with all the mantras. My Guru Maharaj actually once, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, he reprimanded me for not putting tilak in all 12 parts of my body, and I don't know how he knew it, he just knew it. And this was many years ago. I was not initiated at that time, and we were traveling. And we were in a devotee's house, actually. We were doing this initiation yagya. And my Guru Maharaj at that time was busy looking, this was before he had the stroke. If you guys know who Jayapataka Swami is, currently he had a stroke in 2008. And so before that, this was way before that, and he was busy checking all the initiation lists, doing everything. And I just happened to pass him by like a millisecond, just to go to the other room. And he stopped me and he said, "I'm not happy with you." And I was, I didn't know what to say. I just humbly said, "I'm sorry, Guru Maharaj, why, And he said, "Because you have not applied tilak in all 12 places." And how would he know? Because I had tilak on my forehead, So it's just, and I said, "I'm so sorry, Guru Maharaj, I tried to give some excuse, and then I went in and I tried to put on the tilak and came back and said, Guru Maharaj, I've applied tilak in all 12 places with the mantras, Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayana Namah, all the mantras you have to say." And Guru Maharaj said, "How are we going to protect you if you don't put on tilak in all 12 places with the mantras?" So it's a protection. But it's also listed as one of the etiquettes that a Vaishnava should follow, which is also not possible for us sometimes. So what I do, because I take this very seriously, because I take it as really like a personal instruction that my Guru Maharaj gave to me. So what I do is I still, even if I go to work or outside, I put on tilak, like water tilak, but with the mantras. And certain parts of your body you can put it on, because nobody is going to see it. Maybe on your forehead you cannot, so you just put a water tilak. So tilak, no speaking lies, no quarreling with your wives is also mentioned. I made a point of that. And not traveling alone, all kinds of things. It's a long list. Who traveled alone? Gauranga? Did you travel alone? See, you're not following. Yeah. So there's a long list. But what we want to do today, because we have to be practical, we are all aspiring devotees. We are all trying to be devotees. And we must understand that rules and regulations, there are a lot of rules and regulations in bhakti, But at the same time, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of rules and regulation? We must be very clear about that. Because I'm not sure where, but I think in Act of Instruction, it is said that one of the unfavorable things, or unfavorable things, is to follow instructions or rules and regulations for the sake of following them and not to progress in spiritual life, right? And in Padma Purana, this sloka is mentioned also later in the Madhya Leela, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the purpose of rules and regulation, whatever we do, whatever we are trying to follow, is to always, there's only two reasons why we are following whatever we are following. Chanting, eating prasadam, what else do we do? Chanting and eating prasadam, that's all I know. Chanting, eating prasadam, associating with devotees, reading. There's only two reasons why we do this. Who can tell me? I'll give them an iPhone. Anybody knows? Going once? So there's only two reasons: to always remember Krishna and to never forget Krishna. This is the only reason, no other reason. You see, Prabhupada has described our movement as the art of what? What are we learning here? The art of dying. Dun, dun, dun. Art of dying, yeah. We are learning how to live, but we are also learning how to live after we die. So, and in Bhagavad Gita 8.5, Antakale cha mameva shmaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nashti atra shamshayaha. We have whatever we remember. You know Bhagavad Gita, right? The full verse, Rohin? Antakale cha mameva. So whatever we remember, antakalecha, at the end of our life, before, we leave our body, that matters. If you remember Krishna at that time, then you will attain his abode. Of this there is no doubt. So whatever we are doing, these are the two reasons for it. So it's very simple. That's why Prabhupada said, it's simple for the simple. We don't have to complicate things. So because these are the two reasons we need to follow any rules and regulations for, instead of looking at details like, don't do this, don't do that, and be too attached to what we're not supposed to do, let's look at some of the major components of Vaishnava etiquette, which some of you have said today. I think whatever answers you gave was more on that level, more the practical level, the basic and components of Vaishnava etiquette. So some of it that I have written down here is humility, love, and respect. The culture in which we should operate. Humility, love, respect. When you look at these three things, right? Humility, where do you practice humility? Amongst people, yeah. Not just the people in general. It's not like you come to the temple and you are the humbler than a blade of grass, and outside you're a bulldozer. You are the lawnmower outside, right? Inside you are the, humbler than blade of grass, and outside you become a lawnmower. No. So humility, we practice it amongst people. And love, how do you practice love? Also amongst people. If you're just alone with your teddy bears and whatnot, there's no reciprocation, there's nothing. How do you give and take love? You found a way to do that? Really? Interesting. Tell me later about it. And respect, a culture of respect. We can only see the culture of respect manifesting if we are amongst people. So if you see these three things, humility, love, and respect, all depends on your relationships. It all boils down to relationships. And if you see, important. Everything becomes almost meaningless if you don't have good relationships. So if you're not wearing shoes in the temple, if you only put on like a sari every time, everywhere you go, if you put tilak bigger than anything with Radha Kund, the tilak and all that, all pakka. But the moment you see a devotee, you just say, oh, okay, Hare Krishna, I'm not going to talk to this Prabhu, my God, I better run away. Or you offend this Prabhu or something, anything, just relationships. You don't have good relationships. Because sometimes it happens, right? I mean, like we are all human. It does happen that sometimes we do not appreciate certain people's opinions and certain people's just nature, because we all have different natures, sometimes it clashes. But what we should really focus on, what I'm trying to say is, instead of focusing too much on all those stuff, if we focus on these things, we will really make a lot of progress in spiritual life. And this is not just me saying it, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was here, he did a lot of Harinams, Kirtan. He was really propagating the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And of course there's Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the pastimes of the Lord. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he left us with 8 verses. That 8 verses, and verse number 3 from those verses is Tranad api suni chena taror eva shahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada hari. So kirtaniya sada hari, we want to be able to chant every day without an interruption. And how can we do it? By being humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. It doesn't stop there. A lot of times we stop there, oh, humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, but also giving all respects to everyone and expecting no respect for ourselves, for oneself. Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Sri Sri Gaudikaya ki jai, Shridev Bhagwan ki jai. So with that frame of mind, with that attitude, one should chant the holy names of Lord. And only then we'll be able to taste the nectar of the holy names. Sometimes when we lag on our rounds and we cannot do our rounds and we just cannot get the taste in chanting Hare Krishna, if you consult a senior devotee, they'll always tell you how are your relationships, with devotees. And in this regard, that's a nice story. I'm not sure which Goswami it was, either Rupa or Sanatan Goswami, but when he used to chant, he used to see the divine couple, Krishna and Radharani. He used to see them, they used to manifest themselves. And it was a very beautiful pastime because his chanting is so pure. He used to see how Radharani, I think, climbs up the tree. She climbs up the tree to pluck some fruit or something, and Krishna is holding her hair, her braid, and pulling her down. And he laughed, so one time when he got to see this beautiful pastime, he let out a laughter. And when he was laughing, a crippled man, a Vaishnava, a devotee, was walking past him. And the Vaishnava became offended. He felt like he was laughing, oh, this guy is laughing at me because I'm crippled, so he's laughing at me. And since that day, Rupa Goswami or Sanatan Goswami did not get that vision anymore. That vision disappeared. And he was concerned, so he consulted another senior devotee. I think it was Rupa Goswami, and he consulted Sanatan Goswami. Why am I not getting this vision anymore? And what did Sanatan Goswami say? Did you offend anyone? See, not that I know of. That's why we say, if I have offended you intentionally or unintentionally, please forgive me, right? So, Sanatan Goswami suggested, why don't you do like a feast and invite all the devotees to the feast and see who doesn't turn up. If one person doesn't turn up, that means you have offended them. Go and seek forgiveness from them, and then you'll get your vision back. And true enough, he did that. One person did not come, the crippled Vaishnava, and when he went and seek forgiveness, the Vaishnava was also very sorry for being offended, and it was a beautiful exchange, and Rupa Goswami got his vision back, got his taste back. So it's so important, Vaishnava etiquette, our relationships with devotees, it's so important to gauge or for us to progress in our spiritual life. And yes, so Bhakti Charu Swami, I was hearing a class, in preparing for this class, I was listening to Bhakti Charu Swami, because Bhakti Charu Swami is like the epitome of Vaishnava etiquette. You know, he has written a manual of Vaishnava etiquette. He, you know, if you have met him, you will know how beautiful he is, you know, in his interactions with devotees. He is so humble. Yeah, he is. When you are in front of Maharaj, you just feel like very bad. You just feel like you're nothing, you know, because he's so polished, so refined. So he has said that in a society, you know, we have to really be respectful to each other. And there are, according to the scriptures, there are ways on how we handle or deal with, say, someone more senior than us, and someone more junior than us, and someone more on the equal level as us. So that is also in the Bhagavatam. This is what Maharaj quoted in the Bhagavatam, where Narada Muni is speaking to Dhruva Maharaj. He's telling him that whenever we meet someone more qualified than us, what happens? When we meet someone who is better, a better singer than us, a better whatever, you know, than us, how do we feel? You know, we have to feel very happy, we have to be very pleased. But a lot of times envy comes in, and envy is one quality that we can never use in the service of Krishna. Because even anger can be used in the service, because it was in anger that Hanuman served Lord Ram. You know, he was angry, and because Lord Ram was being criticized or whatnot by Ravana, and Hanuman just burnt the entire city of Lanka. You know, so even anger to a certain point can be used in the service of Krishna, but not envy. So when you see someone more qualified than us, we should always be pleased. Just like Maharaj gives this example of a son. When your son or your daughter, you know, your own child, is good at something and everyone is praising him or her, how do we feel? We feel happy. We will add on and say, yes, you know, he also did this, she also did this. We will add on to it. So we should do the same when others are praised. We should do the same. We should be very pleased. We should be very happy if someone is more qualified than us. And if possible, we should take guidance from them. And if someone is less qualified than us, what should we do? We should be compassionate. You know, Narada Muni is saying we should be compassionate. We cannot say, oh my God, they don't even know this. How bad is this? They've been coming to the temple for, 20 years and they don't even know this. Right? No, we should be compassionate. We should see, you know, like maybe not everyone moves at the same frequency, you know. Sometimes we tend to expect that, you know, everybody should know this by then or whatever, but that's not the case, because everybody has got a different journey that they have to follow. So if you think that someone is not as qualified as you at certain things, guide them. Be compassionate. Don't be judgmental or fault-finding. You know, be compassionate. That's what, I'm not saying this, Narada Muni is saying to Dhruva Maharaj. And when you meet equals, you should develop friendship with them. so that you can share and inspire each other. And between all these people who are more qualified, because in a society you have all these people who are more qualified than you, people who are less qualified than you, people who are equal to you. And how should we handle all these in one society? It's not easy, because sometimes people just want to be amongst equals, for instance. But in our society, we welcome everyone. Everyone is welcomed here, because this knowledge is for everyone. It's not sectarian. Everybody can benefit from this knowledge. I cannot imagine anyone not being able to benefit from this, because this helps from everything, from our mental health to our, practices, day-to-day life, everything it helps us. So, when we have all these types of people, when we are interacting with them from a day-to-day basis, these are the three things that we have to have. Humility, that means we approach everyone with humility. Love, we should have love for everyone, and respect. And respect, a lot of times we hear that, if we have to respect authority. Yes, correct. I would say we should also respect authority, not only authority. And what happens to the seniors, the authorities who are being given this respect? What must they do? Must they feel like, I am the leader here, everyone is respecting me, thank you, yeah, you sit here, you do that. Is that how we should do it? No, of course not, right? So, from the seniors, respect also comes. At the same time, affection. Affection and love flows from the seniors. And this is again going back to the inspirational model. How did Prabhupada do what he did? It was all because of his love that he showed to the people, that they could achieve something so unimaginable. Because to people in America at that time, in 1966, wearing a dhoti and kurta, chanting Hare Krishna, they have not even heard the name Krishna. But they were able to take it up so strongly. And a lot of them are still practicing Krishna consciousness up to today. So just imagine how much love Prabhupada has given that enabled everyone to follow his instructions. And even until today, everyone is following Prabhupada's instructions because of that love. So, culture of respect and a society without envy. If you're familiar with Srila Gaur Govinda Swami's lectures, he's got one essay that speaks about a society without envy. So this is the same thing. When Bhakti Charu Maharaj was describing how a temple should be, how we should interact with each other, it just sounds like an utopian idea. But it's not really utopian, it's very, very possible. It's extremely possible. And if we can follow this third verse of Shikshastakam, the third verse of Shikshastakam, Trinadapi Suni Chena, if we follow this verse, and it is said that Prabhupada said that if we can garland this verse, put it on our neck and operate every day like that, with humility, with tolerance, with respect for each other, we will have such a beautiful society. A society that will really inspire each other, really push each other to achieve something great. And that is how, Prabhupada's disciple, and even now, ISKCON is going on because most of the devotees are doing that, are trying their best to follow Prabhupada's instruction, and they're doing that. So, culture of respect, humility, and what's the other one? Love. It's so important. So the takeaway that I wanted to give today from, what time is it? Yeah. The takeaway that I wanted all of us to get today is, yes, Vaishnava etiquette is a vast, vast topic. It's a big, huge topic. There's so many things that we should do in order to become a Vaishnava, and I encourage everyone that we should go on the internet or get a hold of some books and see what are those things, because as we practice those things which seemingly are like, details and nitty-gritty, but it will also help us to become more polished in our Krishna consciousness. But what we can do from today is try to be more humble, try to be more loving and more respectful. If we have that in our community, it will be amazing. And I see that we already have that. Yesterday was a testament to that. Yesterday's picnic, I think all of us were there, and it was so beautiful to see everyone interacting with each other with so much love and respect and humility. I think everything was there yesterday, wasn't it? It was beautiful. So so I think that ends my class for today. Let me check if I've missed anything. Yeah, okay, there's one thing that I want to mention, two actually. One is, how do we correct people? So just because we are in the society and everybody is like, they know what to do, or they're trying to be respectful to each other, does that mean that we don't correct anyone? Because we're not supposed to be judgmental, does that mean we don't correct anyone? No. Like I said, if we meet someone less qualified than us, be compassionate. But it doesn't mean that someone is less qualified than us in everything. Maybe I am really bad with kirtan, for instance, right? So but I might be good in something else, still trying to figure out what that is, but I might be good in something. So whatever I'm good at, I can try to help people with. But what I'm not good at, someone can help me figure that out. So it's like a exchanging knowledge kind of a thing. So finding fault, correcting others, it's two different things. We don't just find fault, but if we see something is lacking in someone, what we can do is we can help by correcting them. And there are ways also. If we are going to correct our seniors, what we should do is we should put it as a question. Instead of saying, oh, you are doing this is wrong. I read in the book, Prabhupada said this, how can you do this? You are wrong, to a senior Vaishnava. Even to a junior, we should not talk like that. But to a senior, what we can say, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I saw that you mentioned this in the class, but the other day I read a book and Prabhupada has said this. So I'm very curious as to how, these two are similar, or are there any contradictions here? And you can also do it in private, not publicly, right? So there are etiquettes like that. And even to a junior, if you want to correct someone, we can always do it in private, and we have to approach it with love. A senior, love, humility, respect, regardless whether you're junior, senior, in between, whatever you are, you have to have that in order to have a good society. So that one. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is the community building formula by Bhakti Tirtha Swami. I don't have it all here. Maybe I can send it to all of you in the WhatsApp group or something. But basically, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was very big on building communities. Because we are meeting here every Sunday on festivals. It's not just about worshipping the Lord, because that is not the highest level of bhakti. Because if you're just coming to the temple to worship the Lord, that is actually, is it Kanishta? No. What, Madhyama or Kanishta? Okay, whatever. But it's not the best, basically. But we come together to worship the Lord together, Sankirtan. So we are supposed to be together. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was an expert in trying to create community, and Mataji actually distributed this on her birthday, this bookmark that had these 4 key principles of building a community, which are: treat everyone like your spiritual life is dependent, the success of your spiritual life is dependent on them. That means when you talk to someone, you must think this person, how I treat this person is going to affect my spiritual progress. And then think of the person you love most. So maybe your parents or your children or your spouses or anyone, maybe your dogs even, right? Think of someone that you love the most and treat everyone with the same amount of love. So beautiful. Not easy. I'm not saying these are easy to follow. I mean, not for me at least. But we all have to repeat this and try to remember and try to practice it. The third one is view conflicts. Whenever we have conflicts, view it as our own fault first. Think, what did I do to get us into this? This is in no way trying to, self-blame. And it's not like that. It's just self-introspective, if you may call it that. And then realize that the people that are with you now are the same people. Most probably are the same people that are going to be with you at the time of death. These are the people who are going to sing the kirtan for you. These are the people who are going to bring the holy water to you at the last moment. Because of the vicinity, geographical location, right? I mean, we cannot expect people who we are super friendly with and super respectful with on the internet to send us Ganga Jal at the end of our life. Sometimes we have better relationships with people in the internet than people in real life, So sometimes we have to realize that ends at a certain point, and we have to develop relationships with our people around us. And these 4 principles are so beautiful, Whenever I read this, I just feel very moved. Because if we can follow this, there'll be no problems at all. Yeah. So yeah, long way to go, but we can start somewhere, we will achieve it. I wouldn't say a long way to go. I think from yesterday I feel wow, it's such a beautiful congregation we have here. So with that, I would like to end. I hope I have done justice to this topic, and please forgive me if I've said anything wrong, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So do we have any questions or comments? Yeah. Mataji. And Mataji, I can hear you.
Thank you for such a wonderful class. I have to say I was really, really relishing each and every point, each and every subject, subtopics. Very, very powerful. And interestingly, as you were speaking, I can't help but remember his father, Dr. Swami. He is the personification of Vaishnava etiquette, walking encyclopedia of Vaishnava etiquette. He actually exemplified it. Mm-hmm. I remember a past time when he said that when he was in, when the devotees, his godfathers would come to Mysore for the annual GBC meetings, he would send his own devotees and vehicles to go pick up his godbrothers, and he would, when they would come, he would give them proper reception. Yeah. He's a sannyasi. Proper pucca reception. So Bhakti Swami was a personification. So thank you for sharing that. My question is, you mentioned 3 points, respect, humility, and love. And sometimes it's a challenge, and again, because of Kali Yuga, it's such a challenge to actually see love when we are being corrected. The first thing that says is, how dare you? Right? So how can we really see love, or how can we develop the mood? I think that's the right way of putting it, is how can we develop the mood to see love when we are being corrected?
Yeah, great question, Mataji. And Yeah, I personally kind of struggle with that also. And I think what Maharaj has said here in the community building tips that he have given us for community building, one of it is view conflicts as your own fault first. So I'm answering this, from my own perspective, what I think I should do. I'm not necessarily doing this, but what I think I should do is when someone corrects me, and definitely most of us, we feel like, what is she saying? Like, what is he saying? Come on, I mean, this is not like that bad or something. It can also be done this way. But before we react, a lot of times we react and immediately are rude to the person that's telling us. Just listen to them, listen to what they have to say, take it with pranams, just say thank you Mataji, thank you Prabhu, just say thank you, come back home and just dwell upon it a little bit. I know we're not supposed to dwell upon things too much, but dwell, think about it, be introspective. Why did they say this? And then now we have Mr. Google and all that. Google and find out. I'm sure, there hasn't been anything that I Googled and I couldn't find an answer for. So I'm sure whatever it is, because even for practicing bhakti yoga, there's so much information on the internet. So depending on what someone told you, you can just maybe if you don't want to talk to anyone else about it, put it on the internet and see okay, not on your Facebook and all that, just Google search engines, please. Not on Instagram stories and all. Just put it and see, okay, and then introspect, think about it, do some research. You have to then you will definitely see that they have a point, because hardly anybody will just come and tell you things for the sake of it, to just to kind of make you angry, or I don't know, and if you really find out that what that person was saying is not right, because that's possible also, right? Hey, come on, we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that not every time a senior person, when they come and tell you something, it's the right thing. It could be something that they completely misunderstood as well. So if you think, after your introspection, after your research, if you think that what they said is not actually so right, and what you thought is actually right, you can always go back to them in a very respectful way and say, Prabhu, I understand what you said this, I really appreciate, and I was thinking about it, and I also did some research, but this is what, remember earlier I said about how we ask questions to our seniors, so we just ask, but when I did my research, this is what it said. Is this something you want for us, or is this how it's supposed to be? So we can have healthy conversations. That's what I think, Mataji. I'm not sure if that answered the question.
No, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And feedback on that question, as you talked about self-introspection, which is a big challenge in today's times.
Yeah.
Because we are so bombarded with so much of outside, inside, everywhere bombardment, that we don't know how to check ourselves. And I think that's the biggest challenge nowadays, So how can we really be in tuned with ourselves? Like, how can we develop that it's the importance of checking ourselves?
In terms of being respectful?
Yeah, in terms of being in terms of receiving, feedback, in terms of catching ourselves, I think I said this was not right. I should have said it in a different way, or I think, I should have listened. There's got to be some message in there for me, Yeah.
I think, first, introspection is definitely the only way I think we can do this. And today, I feel, even though people might say people in those days were more respectful, people these days are not respectful, while that is true, but we must also realize that today people have more information. People have more information, so sometimes they do feel a little entitled, who are you to tell me this? I already know this, But the thing is, yeah, but you cannot kind of dismiss people for, giving advice or telling, because they also have information, right? So you must find a balance. I think the most important thing, what I try to practice is, I don't want to be a rude person. Who wants to be a rude person? Who wants to be known as, oh, that guy, oh, yeah, he's really rude. Or that girl, oh, yeah, that rude girl. Who wants to be known as that? No one, right? Everyone wants to be liked. Everyone wants to be pleasant. I don't think anybody, even the most rudest person we know, actually they don't want to be rude. If you go deep inside them, there must be some lack of love or something that's bothering them, that's making them do that. Sometimes a lot of people do that to seek attention also, because they don't have attention. So they think by becoming rude and by becoming overtly opinionated, they can shine. Because that's the only way they knew how to shine. Because otherwise people ignore them. I don't want to say this, but I don't want to say this actually, but I'll say it later to you if you all can come. But some people do a lot of bad things in this world today because they want to be noticed. It's very scary, so, and then when you look at their background, you can see that, actually they have not been loved, they've not been coming from, families, and that's why what we're trying to create here in our society is strong families, that's why we are even if you're not here with your biological families, we want to be your family. We want to create that community that can really worship Krishna together, but at the same time also help each other do in all kinds of things. If you have a problem with your job, you can come and tell Mother Anasuya, say, oh my God, Mataji, it's been a bad week, like I told you last week, and you can discuss it, not just her, but your friends here. So this is a place where we are creating friendships. We are creating that avenue for people to come and be the best that they can be. That is why Prabhupada has created a house that a whole world can live in. And it's a beautiful, beautiful house. You'll never, Nitya Gopal Prabhu is a realtor, right? You'll never find a more beautiful house than this. Right, Prabhu? Yeah. So, yeah, what was the question? Like how we, rude, being rude, yeah. So sometimes, it's a tendency, you feel like, oh my God, why are they telling me this, like as though I don't know, I've been here for like 30 years, but come on, let's not be rude. Even though you think like that, in Kali Yuga, whatever you think, it's okay. So just take a step back, maybe discuss it with your closest friend, and then approach it in a very respectful way, because it's a beautiful quality. It makes you look beautiful. When you are respectful, be selfish, right? Be selfish. When you are respectful, when you are not rude, when you are nice to people, people like you. Who doesn't want to be liked? But don't let people take advantage of you. If you think that, this is happening and you don't want this to, happen, move away slowly. There are other people that you can, if you, after having spoken to them and discussed with them, you still cannot find a solution, just keep it very casual and move on. You have other people. That's why we have a big group. And that's why we want to expand and get a bigger group, so that we all can find people that we can relate to. Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
I would like to ask I like to do this just to see. I would like to hear from the youth. At least 3 takeaways from your class.
Oh, yeah. 3 takeaways.
This is the pop quiz to do. I mean, not that, the men can do it because, we're all young in hearts. Unless we want to be old in hearts, but we're all young in hearts. But we'd like to hear at least 3 takeaways, from the youth and from everyone here, at least to see, what is it that from your class that you felt that, wow, I have to work on this, or this was something that I really have to improve on.
Yeah.
Something
Actually,
that
I
I
also have
slack
3
on.
things that I want to, which I forgot. So you guys say first, and then I will probably conclude with these 3 things
Okay,
that I
I
have.
saw Ansh's hand, then you can pass the mic around, Ansh.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I really like the point about the envy. Yeah, so that's something else I should work on. And then, all right, come back. I had a question, Mataji, actually. So you know how you said envy is the one way where you cannot advance? But you just, like, the situation, say if you're envious of someone, but you take that in a way that you want to improve yourself in Krishna consciousness because you haven't reached that level. Is that type of mindset okay, or is that still in a negative way?
Okay, let me think. I understand 100% what you're saying, and I think that's actually a good way, because we cannot just say, okay, don't have envy, stop, right? Because, it happens, it comes, unfortunately, it's not a very nice feeling. But what Gauranga is saying, that how can we use envy to improve ourselves. So you're saying that if you see someone, who cooks very well and you're envious of them and you want to try to learn and cook, I think it's good, but it needs to kind of stop there. Because you don't want to compete with them. So like they made like paneer butter masala today, right? And you say, oh my God, they made such nice paneer butter masala. I need to make a better one. And you make, yeah.
But like use it to motivate yourself to work harder in that sense, not to compete with them, but to improve yourself.
I think so. I mean, I'm not basing it on any scripture right now, but I think so, because what other ways do we have if we are envious of someone? What else can we do? We cannot really do anything else rather than just turning that enviousness to inspiration, right? I think it's a good way of looking at it.
Same, every other emotion but envy. So I wanted to.
That's what it's said in the scriptures, because envy, I think, Gauranga, maybe you're not a very highly envious person. So you don't realize how destructive envy is actually, because envy goes to the level of, oh, they have this, why not me? I must have this too. And people go to such extents, what you're feeling is maybe inspiration. I don't think you're feeling envy, because envy is, even jealousy, I think it's a different thing from envy, right? But I think you inspired me to read more about why this envy is not a quality that can be used in Krishna's service. So, but I think what you are saying is good. Like, if you see someone who's doing better and you want to...
The beginning is always, and you would think like jealousy or envy because you don't know. But if you take it in a positive way, you see that, I need to improve myself in this way.
This is what I'm lacking. This person has shown me what is possible, right? This person has shown me this is possible, that I can do, that people can do this. Why can I not do this? Let me also do it. I think that's fine. That's totally fine. But when you say, oh, this person is doing this is not right, I cannot do this, let me stop him from doing it. And then you say, oh, we're not supposed to play harmoniums anymore. Prabhupada said you cannot play harmonium in kirtans, right? And ban harmoniums because you cannot play harmonium, So things like that have happened, I think, and that's just like a very simple example. There are great examples of envy. I'm not sure, do you know any like scripture envy?
My husband for that, but...
Hare Krishna. Accept my holy obeisances, Lord Shiva Prabhupada. Question of envy is connected very much with the material world. We envied Krishna, and that's why we wound up here. We if we envy anybody's qualities or whatever they possess, we won't be able to stop envying Krishna, because Krishna has everything. And this person you envy has only limited quantity of things compared to Krishna. So if that makes us envy that person, we would envy Krishna, definitely. And Krishna, the envy of Krishna put us in the material world, which means we can't go back to Godhead, because we would just turn right around and back. So yeah, we can't afford to envy anyone and expect to go back to Godhead. It's that bad. So we have to be very serious, careful about it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So beautiful. Very beautiful. That answered your question, I hope?
Yes.
So nice, right? So amazing.
And just one point that's an amazing point, because as you were speaking, I was remembering, I was reflecting actually, how when we envy, right, our consciousness is more on focusing on,
Like you were saying, right? He has it, how come I don't have it? So what happens is that our consciousness, our meditation, our mindset is all about I, me, mine. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. Where's the Krishna factor in it? You see? So there's no Krishna factors, because he got it, I got it. So it's all about I, me, mine, which is completely the basis of of Bhagavad Gita. I, me, mine. So, but if we are able to, the higher purpose is to, like you said, to switch it to in spite of, whoa, you know what? Two things can happen. One is either we get inspired and say, like I was reading a pastime a few months ago, where someone walks to the temple, and they say, wow, this floor is so clean, I can see my face. I want to be friends with that devotee and see how he cleaned the floor so clean. Inspires us. Or if we see someone that have what we don't have, we can appreciate by saying, it's a blessing that I don't have that, because I can get stuck in the material world. The Lord is helping me to realize, I don't need this. So that is the flip side of, not getting it, because the Lord is saving us. Because sometimes we think I need it, but the Lord knows what's best for us, So that's what came to my mind also, yeah. Someone else had a takeaway, I think legit. Oh, Ansh had it.
It was a Vaishnava etiquette one. I liked how you said, it's not just devotees we should do it with, it's everyone. Because that's what brings us, brings everyone to the temple.
Yeah, I think it's so important that we behave, because we are representing, our culture. So what's the point of doing it only in the confines of the four walls of the temple and not anywhere else? Any other takeaways?
I have to share a pastime, not a pastime, wrong word, something that happened in my office.
Pastime?
To me it was a pastime.
It was so funny, because last week, Krishna was really testing my anger. Last week, I've been dealing with this client in New York for almost about a month. I got this new accounts, to collect. They owe us 8 months or 9 months of payments, and somehow it got to me, and I had to, resend last year's, almost 1 year of invoices to get the payments. And she has been really short in her emails with me. Nasty. Krishna Chaitanya. So the last email I sent to her last week to ask what is the update, what you need. And she literally replied to, I deleted that email actually, I was frustrated. She replied and said, what the heck are you waiting for and sitting on what? And I said, okay, no, you're not going to talk to me like this. So I had to really, at first I got upset. I had to breathe. I had to breathe. And I said, okay, I've been dealing with her for about a month. We need her money, okay, because she owes us money. But at the same time, you're not going to walk all over me just because I'm being nice to you. So I called her. I literally called her. And I introduced myself, and she introduced myself, and she started. And I just told her, I get what's happening. I get all the situation. I said, can we be professional? in the emails. And she went, I said, I get that. All I'm asking is, can we be professional? And then she says, but da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, get it. I'm asking for professionalism because I don't like the way you speak with me. And at the end of the phone call, she said sorry 5 times. 5 times. And then half an hour later, she called me. She goes, hey, Anita. And I said, yeah, hey, Cindy. And she said, okay. She had to choose her words so carefully with me. She says, okay, I'm just trying to be, like she was very calm down. And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I realized, how important it is that we have to apply that same principle, not just within the devotee community, because outside don't know that. So we should at least be the example. No, etiquette does exist, even in the material world. It's not here, but yeah, it just happened last week. I was like, Krishna, Chaitanya, so it's testing my anger. For sure, absolutely. Haribol. Pranav, oh nice.
Haribol, yeah. So I liked how you sort of shortened all of this into like 3 main words: humility, love, and respect. And it's such a vast topic, as you said, but it really summarized what Vaishnava etiquette is. So thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you very much for the wonderful class. So, one thing I really realized I had to work on was my humility, because in every Vaishnava etiquette class, humility is always mentioned, and at least for myself, I will say, yeah, I have humility. I don't have to worry about that. But in recent times, with the little life experience I have, I realized that I really need to work on the humility part of it. So that's one thing I really need to work on.
Wonderful. Same here, but I think it takes a lot for you to actually say it, in public. So I think that's like a first move. But yeah, humility also, it's a very nice quality to have, very attractive. Like when you see people who are humble, they are very attractive, So at least to look attractive, we should try. Fake it till you make it kind of a thing. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, finally.
Yeah, I can.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhi. So actually, I had one realization that, you said the 3 qualities, the humility, respect, and love, which helps in the community building. And my realization on that was, in the spiritual world, everything is relationship based. There is no lack of resources. It's the Kalpavriksha tree is there, the Chintamani stones are there. There is no lack. You don't have to work for anything. It's all about having fun and having all these loving exchanges with other devotees and with Krishna. Mm-hmm. So what Krishna is trying to say is that while we are in the material world, how good are we in terms of playing as a team, in terms of being a family. And when Krishna sees that, yeah, we are doing a good job, then, that makes the qualification. Because Krishna wants to make sure that once we go back to the spiritual world, we're not going to mess anything up. We are, in the same loving relationship that we are displaying here.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think, yes, that's a very good observation. And spiritual world, yeah, it's all about relationship, right? And also, how Prabhupada said, this is he's teaching us the art of dying. So it's not just to live in this world, but also after we have passed on, how we're going to be. Yeah. Anything else? Or shall we conclude? So I just wanted to say these last 3 things, these important aspects. I always I write some articles sometimes, and I still want to write an article on these. I feel that if we have these three important aspects in our spiritual life, we can be pretty successful, in trying to progress. Sadhu Sangha, that means association of the devotees. And in that Sadhu Sangha, we should have proper sadachar, basically etiquette. Sadachar is etiquette, like how to behave, how to talk to people, how to, do certain things. And sadhana. It's very, very important. Sadhu Sangha, 3S, Sadhu Sangha, Sadachar, and Sadhana. Because our chanting, our reading, our, aratis, rising up early, all that, if everything we do, nobody can touch us. We'll really be dedicating our life to the Lord, and we'll be very happy, because end of the day, that's what we want. All are seeking for, to be happy. All right. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasi Srimad's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Nityalila Bhavishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajikacharya Stotra Satyasi Srimad's Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavind Ki Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki ISKCON founder Charya Shri Prabhupada Ki Prem Chikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mathura Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jagannath Swami Ki Ganga Mai Ki Jamuna Mai Ki Tulsi Devi Ki Bhakti Devi Ki Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Vaishnava Prabhupada.
Payatayamita हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशपदेता हरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे भगवान की भक्त सुन श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की गुर प्रेमानंद है
Do it on the stove. Shorab. Do it on the stove. You see it there. Sorry, Hare Krishna. Oh, come on. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. He went from high octave down to the lowest octave. Okay, that's okay.
Nice to see devotees coming out on a Sunday program. It's so nice to see so many of us out here. Few announcements. One is we want to thank Gaurang for visiting us. Gaurang is coming from Delaware. He's actually the son of the temple president of ISKCON Delaware. So his program finished sooner, then he just came to surprise his buddies here. So it's nice. Haribol. Very, very nice. Thank you for coming. You surprised them. Good secret we kept. I hope everyone had a blast yesterday. It's nice. Prasad is very tight. He can clap. He shot too many bats, in the cricket match. It was nice to see all the devotees. Everybody was in action in some shape, form, or manner, something. I don't think many of us were not doing anything. Everybody was doing something, so that was really, really nice that we had a picnic, and we hope to do it at least twice a year. I just got to plan it properly so that we can gear ourselves up for more community building, as Mathura was sharing in a class. This is what brings community together. We hang out together, we do things together, we have fun together. At the same time, we get, devotee association. And then we do the best. We feast together. That's the best thing that we do. So thank you for coming out, and I hope all of you had a very, very good time. We saw lots of pictures, and they're all exciting ones, so we'll look forward to the next one. I want to also thank the book distribution team. They did in 3 hours, right? They distributed more than 30 books. Amazing, amazing, amazing service. This is the bliss of Krishna consciousness. We spread Srila Prabhupada's knowledge, Srila Prabhupada's teachings in his book form, and he says, I am present in my books. I'm alive in my books. I'm not dead. So we want to support the book team more and more in upcoming fest. And speaking about that, we have October 1st, the Silver Spring Fall Fest. 10th. No, 10th is Monday. Prasad, first, right? It's on my calendar for first. When you send it to me. If it's Monday, that's not going to work. I think it's at first. But he'll confirm with me. But we would like to encourage devotees to please come out and support us at the Silver Spring Fall Fest in Cumberland County. From what, 10 to 3, 10 to 4? Kind of a short day, right? Yeah. And October 1st? October 1st. Thank you. Haribol. And this time, the organizers were very kind to give us a 20-minute on-stage kirtan. Yeah, Prana, what do you think? So which means we're going to get the youth on stage for 20 minutes to rock the kirtan. So let's plan very nicely. Let's do it properly. Prabhupada says when he was leaving his body, he was very, very, very worried. And by his side was Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Giriraj Swami, I think. And Prabhupada was very, very concerned on what's going to happen after I leave. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, Prabhupada, don't worry, we'll chant our 16 rounds, we'll keep the 4 racks, we'll distribute your books. He says, Then Giriraj Swami repeated that again. Prabhupada says, organization and intelligence is the key to push the movement forward. So let's plan a nice kirtan, organizing it perfectly pukka, so that we can look pukka on stage, and we can distribute the holy name pukka. So that's the whole goal here. So please, let's plan on that. So I'm trying to recall my thoughts here. So this coming Saturday is? And it's a morning program. So please change our times from evening to morning, it being a Saturday, and normally it's observed in the mornings, and because it happened to be a weekend, we're going to observe it in the morning as it should be. So 10 o'clock is when the program starts, and it'll start with chanting of the holy name. We'll go into the glories of Radharani. There will be Julan Yatra. We will be having a swing festival of Radha Sharadi Hari. There'll be an awesome feast. We request devotees to please be on time. It's a morning program. So if it's a morning program, yes, 10, American time. It's not IST, it is not African time, it's not whatever time, it's on the dot.
I don't want to say Greenwich time, we'll just go with American time, let's put it that way. But yes, and each minute we miss, we're going to lose out on the festivities, so let's be on time. And it's this Saturday, so please do join us so that we can celebrate the birthday of Radharani. And trying to figure out the following weekend is the men's mantra retreat. The men are more excited because they're going to have fun. We'll have fun here too. Don't worry, women, we'll have fun. So the men are going to go. If anybody would like to register, please do see Naveen Sham, contact him, or Bhakta Josh, and they will tell you. I believe they're still open for registration. So please, I highly recommend this retreat. It's a wonderful time for men to come together. It starts Friday. 4:30 is their first session. So they would really need everybody to, they start check-in at 2 in the afternoon. So please do show up on time so that you can get nice association, very good prasadam, that's the best in New Vrindavan, and a very nice association. So please do, register if you would like to go. And Fuli Rath Yatra is on September 24th. That is the last Rath Yatra on the East Coast. So please, let's go out and support our sister temple. There has been a request for volunteers for help to serve prasadam. So we need at least minimum 10 volunteers or even more. So if anyone would like to help serve prasadam at Fuli Rath Yatra, please do come see me so that I can inform the devotee who's organizing it. He sent me an email 3-4 days ago. So we would like to get at least 10 or more to help serve our prasadam. So please do let me know. It's on September 24th. Haribol. I could see your hand going up. Thank you. You can inspire the others to join your bandwagon, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And October, like you said, October 1st is the Spring Fall Fest in Cumberland County. The first day of Kartik is October 9th. It's on a Sunday. So this is when it starts getting busy. October is a very busy month up until November. So we will try our best to keep all of you informed of what's happening. But October, the day before the first day of Kartik, October 8th, is Brats Bhakta Yoga post-Janmashtami celebration. And they have a very, very nice function. So you will see that emails coming out also. And our Kartik Kirtan, 8-hour Kartik Kirtan is October 22nd. 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So we're going to have, again, we're trying to get Kirtaniyas, so we're going to work on that, trying to get folks coming out, so please do prepare for that. Just to give a heads up, I just got an email from the city for holiday parade. November 19th. So last year I missed out on the fun. I could only, because I was sick like God knows what in bed. I was watching all the fun. So this year I want to be alive so I can be part of the fun. So on November 19th, Saturday. So we need as many volunteers as we can get to make this an awesome. They loved what we did last year. Walking, chanting, dancing kirtan, they loved it. They asked if we can still continue that. Now the theme for this year is very vibrant holiday. So let's go in our vibrant colors, which we do very well. Just go in the closet and dig out your fanciest sari. If you have to wear your wedding sari, go ahead, do that. If you have to wear your wedding dhoti and kurta, go ahead and do that, because we got to be vibrant. So let's rock it this year. So we're going to put the plan together, and we'll start reaching. If anybody would like to be part of this parade, please do come let me know as soon as possible, because it takes a lot of planning. Again, Prabhupada says, dress to address. So we have to be very pukka in our dressing so that we can address and they'll pay attention to us. So just a few things that's coming to my mind. Again, if you will get the emails. If you're not getting our emails, please do let me know and we'll add you on the e-bulletin. Until then, thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Mathura, for a wonderful class. Very, very nice topic. Very nice topic. Thank you. Yes. Krishnapriya, I'll send you the recording. It's on YouTube. But please do take please do see the deities and do have our feast downstairs and have a wonderful week. And we'll hope to see all of you on Radhastami morning, 10 o'clock. Hari Hari Bol. Shri Prabhupada ki.